Good morning. Good morning, Colegio Maya family. Imagine I'm standing on the steps in front of the school and saying that all over again. And you know what? The steps at the front of the school have changed. I now get to say it this way, but I get to say it, and that's what matters. So here we are this morning talking for a minute about what matters. And what matters is we are finishing this year. What matters is we are coming together. We're figuring it out, and it isn't easy. This is a time of unprecedented ambiguity. It's a time of the unknown. It's a time that none of us have ever lived for before. Schools, companies, families. But you know what? We are. We are not only surviving, we are starting to figure out ways to thrive. And that is not easy. But I am positive, because of who we are, because of our diversity, because of our compassion, our values, our care about all the things that Maya stands for and has worked hard for, and that we've worked hard for. So as we finish this year, and we are going to celebrate, we are going to talk to one another, we are going to survey you and say, whoa, you take a deep breath. Kids, moms, dads, teachers, you take a deep breath and have time to think about where we're headed, where you want Maya to be headed, and share that information. Sure, we'd love to have a huge meeting and talk about it. We can't. We can have Zooms. We can do what we're doing right now, and we're going to continue doing that. And you're going to continue supporting those kids, and kids, you're going to continue getting the work done, and it won't look the same at all in some ways, but at the core, it will be the same. You can read and write, you can think, you can figure out problems, and we got new problems to solve. So here we are. And as we finish the year, with celebrations, with graduations, with moving up ceremonies, we got to package them differently, and we're already doing it. So do what it takes to get there, all of us, and we'll be there. And on May 30th and all that first week of June, we're going to be there, starting with you, our seniors, the class of 2020. Oh my goodness. All right, so as we end this year and figure out how to painfully and celebratively say, whew, we made it, and we are moving on. And that moving on is also looking different. Some of you are truly moving on and going to new communities, new schools, new places in the world, and you don't know what that's going to look like either. But as we move on, those of us who are here, which is truly almost all of us, then we're going to move on purposefully and thoughtfully, and we're going to move on with confidence that we are a people, we are a tribe, and we've got to take care of one another. So in taking care of one another, we've got to make a plan for next year. And right now, as I communicate with schools all over the world, including CAG and Interamericano, right now we are all scrambling and looking at how are we going to do this with the continued safety and security, the continued reality of what we've got as a world. And so this is how we're going to do it. We're asking for feedback and information. We're forming a task force. I will be working very hard with the core leadership team to figure out the practical and the ways to repackage and to invite learning in our new world. And it is true, there are two scenarios. One is that we will be on campus in August. And that one is the one we all hope for deeply. And if that were true, We will be on campus very differently. We will be on campus in serious physical distancing, where there cannot be assemblies that we all sit together. There cannot be the kind of play and closeness that we were used to. There cannot be the same amount of kids in the classrooms because our classrooms are not that big. So we've got to refit and redesign and reschedule a lot of things. And that's going to take some hard work. Of course, ideally, the plan of being on campus like we have been and are used to is what we all want. And that's going to happen someday. But I have to be honest with you, when it does, that too is going to look different. And practically speaking, the best information I have is that that's not going to happen for at least 12 months, maybe longer. The most likely right now plan is that we still will be virtual, that we will indeed need to stay at home and be in the sheltered care that we are now. That will be determined by the virus itself, by how we keep ourselves safe now, by what the government of every country, and for us of Guatemala, orders, suggests, insists that we do as a people here. That has to do with borders, that has to do with gatherings, including it has to do with schools being open. And so we must plan for still being virtual. And so we are. And if we are, that too is going to look different. We are going to take all we're learning right now, what's coming out of this that is good, that is creating some kinds of learning and some ability to learn that we weren't using before as we should. So we will have a virtual plan that is revitalized, that is infused with the capacity to continue to learn what we need to learn, what's worth learning, what we must learn. And then there's the third possibility of what is being called blended, where we are both at home and we are also on campus. And respecting that no, it's not social distancing, it's physical distancing. We can be social all the time, but we can't be as physical as we are used to, especially here in Latin America, in Guatemala. Okay, so the blended model, that too has got to have a very logistical plan so that we know who's on campus, when, how, who's at home, how, what's being expected, how the classes will be managed, and how we will conduct school. And that plan too is emerging everywhere. Schools everywhere are doing this. Some are actually doing it right now. And so as we do this, we will have Maya's plan of action. I assure you of that. As we plan for this and create a task force, please know that your voice matters as always. And I know sometimes it feels like you send an email, you talk to one another, you do something in a chat group, and oh my goodness, didn't we just do that? Or how do I say this? And what do I need to do for myself? All these things are like all the balls in the air that we're throwing up and down. But we do have a center. We do have a strong staff and an organization of a school that is a community. It's a community. We're not a business. We're a community. And we're a community of learners, and we've got a lot to learn. So this morning, it's a hard message to deliver, but you know what? We gotta do it. And I'm here, and you're there, but somehow we are very together. So kids, I love you, and I know that you are saying, when will it ever end? Well, I don't know when it's going to end or how it's going to end, but I do know this. We've got today. We've got this day, this Friday. So let's make it a great one. And let's be thoughtful of one another. Reach out and touch someone today in the kind of touching that we are now learning and using amazingly well. I salute you. I give you all the energy of courage and resolve and kindness that I possibly can. I need yours. We need ours. And we are indeed, who would have ever imagined that word Maya warriors? We are warriors. And we are warriors who've got spirit. Our spirit. Let's keep them alive. Have a great day.